So this past weekend was the Grey Cup. That's the CFL, Canadian Football League's equivalent to the Super Bowl. Except it doesn't have the big hype, which I didn't even know was this past weekend. Mind you, I don't really pay attention to football whatsoever. I'm not really a sports guy. Even though I have the physique of a sports watcher, I don't even really follow the games. It's too much. Like, getting committed to a team, to watching the full season, going through the ups and downs. We saw what happened with the Toronto Blue Jays, and it was just kind of like, you know what? This is why I don't get intense with sports and that. But there was a really interesting sight that happened during the Grey Cup, ladies and gentlemen. Prime Minister Mark Carney did the coin toss, and let's just say the crowd was very enthusiastic on his appearance. Not in a positive way, though. Not in a positive way. So Mark Nixon says Mark Carney got booed at the Grey Cup during the coin toss. So here's just a bit of it. I hope this doesn't get copyrighted. We checked it before. I think it's okay, but let's see.
Now for the coin toss. Joining the team captains is the Prime Minister of Canada, le Premier Ministre du Canada, Mark Carney, and the CEO of Coinbase Canada, Lucas Matheson.
You could hear in the background, people are booing. Just the mention of Mark Carney. Just the booing. And obviously, I feel bad for this guy, even though I have no idea who he's the founder of Coinbase, which that's crypto, right? Cryptocurrency. That's a crypto wallet, I'm assuming. What great partnership. A central banker and a crypto wallet enthusiast. Representing the CFL, Canadian football. Let's hear some of that again.
Joining the team captains is the Prime Minister of Canada, le Premier Ministre du Canada, Mark Carney, and the CEO of Coinbase Canada, Lucas Matheson.
So, just the mention of Mark Carney, it drives people to boo. It sends shivers down your spine. I know we talked extensively on what this prime minister is doing to the country. And this is the result of it. This is the result. This is why people just had enough with it. You saw the election. You saw the results of the election and how kind of fabricated it all was. How you saw that immediately, not even Ontario wrapped up its results, and already they called for Mark Carney to be the winner of the election. The whole thing just seems so fabricated. And here you have now months later. So that was back in April. Here we are in almost the end of November, and things are not looking good. Things are not looking good. The promises made of, changing things around. We're not the same Liberal Party. We're going to fix the problems that the same party installed onto us. Yeah, it's going to get worse. It's getting worse, ladies and gentlemen. And it's because the same party that created these disasters are the same party that got selected into resolving those issues. And do you think that that's going to play out? Do you think they're going to actually resolve the issues? No. Because it's a continuation of the entire plan, the proposal of the WEF that infiltrated Canada the moment that Klaus Schwab said that we penetrated Trudeau's cabinet. That was the day we lost Canada. That was the day we lost our sovereignty. And this is a continuation of this agenda where you can't afford your basic essentials. You'll own nothing and like it. Jobs are being scarce. People are desperate for any solution. And they're not getting it from the schmutz. They're not getting it from Mark Carney. But I think this Coinbase guy, just by default, already gets credibility. Just showing the favoritism there. So it gets even more intense. So here, this guy just bins. Says Prime Minister Mark Carney is booed every time he goes on screen at the Grey Cup. Every time he's on the Jumbotron. People are disgusted by him. It's not, it's really, really highlighting. It's really symbolic to the disconnect between Parliament and the country, because majority of Canadians don't agree with the things that Parliament is imposing on us. But Parliament does not represent us. Parliament represents the bankers. They represent Bay Street. They represent stockbrokers. They represent the WEF. They represent globalists. They represent Galen Weston, who is the head of Loblaws Incorporated, one of the giant retailers of the country. That's who they represent, not the Canadians that went to a football game. So here's some more of this reaction.
Glorious and free. Oh. Joining the team captains is the Prime Minister of Canada, le Premier Ministre du Canada, Mark Carney, and the CEO of Coinbase.
I like the guy in the back there. It's like, yeah, come on. I got paid $1,000 to stand here and clap. You can do it too. Come on. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. The one guy on the field there that has to amp up the audience because of how horrible this guy is. Let's see this again. That's hilarious. Oh, maybe not.
Glorious and free. Oh. Joining the team captains is the Prime Minister of Canada, le Premier Ministre du Canada, Mark Carney, and the CEO of Coinbase Canada, Lucas Matheson.
Mr. Prime Minister, would you do us the honor? Tails has been called. This is a tails. Saskatchewan has won the toss.
So, yeah, not a good look for this guy. And rightfully so, because a lot of the things that are happening right now, again, complete detachment from the majority of the country. Which goes to show you, Parliament is not on your side. There's no person there to save you. It's a complete detachment from the country. And that's how they want to operate. They want to operate like you are a vessel, not a person, not a citizen, not someone that elected a person into a country, but more as just the vessel, the empty loathe that they can penalize against, that they can go against you, they can oppress you, they can do whatever they want to you, because you're basically like a lab rat. You're an experiment. That's why they're able to implement the COVID mandates without any sort of hesitation, or investing into digital IDs, or putting cloned meat into grocery stores and making you feel like, oh, there's no difference, so why would we put different labels on it? Here's another reaction to this. So this was in the bleachers, in the stands at, I believe this is in Winnipeg, where Mark Carney got onto the bleachers there where the broadcast booth is, and one of the people, the guy recording this, saw him and made a statement. Well, let's take a look at this.
Carney! Hey, you fucking call me, eh? Carney! Hey, you fucking call me, eh?
There's it. Yeah, okay. I'm going to call up CSIS and lock your accounts. I'm just happy to be here. Yeah. Don't worry. Your bank accounts will be frozen soon enough. Don't worry. You'll be sent to prison for speech. Ow. That's something else, ladies and gentlemen. That is something else, ladies and gentlemen. But it didn't keep Mark Carney in low spirits, because here, Government EXE is corrupt. Found him later on. This is says Mark Carney's deficit is one of the largest in Canadian history. He says it's time to build Canada, but nothing has been built. Nothing. And that's because the whole proposal is not to build anything. The whole proposal, it's to scam Canadians and liquidate the assets to people like Brookfield, to people like the globalist capture of this country. They want to remove the assets from Canada and turn this country into a vassal state. For who? The globalists, the WEF, the people that are infiltrating our country. I'm not worried about Donald Trump taking over and turning into the 51st state, because we've already been captured. We've already lost our sovereignty way before Donald Trump. And it was the day that that Klaus Schwab announced on stage that we penetrated Trudeau's cabinet. The moment that guy got elected and he said that was the day we have lost all of our sovereignty, that Canada doesn't operate for Canadians. It operates for the WEF, for the globalist regime, for the mafia men and women that truly take control of countries, because they don't see countries. Just like the movie Network from 1967. It's about the international flow of dollars. They don't recognize countries. It's about a handful of bankers. And Mark Carney, being a central banker himself, wants this for himself. So what does he do? He spends his opportunities going to these small businesses that he's trying to close down with this relentless tirade against small businesses to facilitate Brookfield. He's going around doing photo ops. And here's just some footage of this. This was him at, I guess, a bakery nearby in Winnipeg. And again, it's all a photo opportunity for him. It's all for image. It's all there for show. It's all there for theatrics. Because when he goes back to Ottawa, does he think he's going to give a damn about small businesses? Does he give a damn about, locking up people? We obviously did not see it during COVID when he told small businesses, mom and pop stores, to lock everything up. You're going to lose your business. But it's okay that Amazon is allowed to facilitate. It's okay that Walmart is allowed to stay open. It's okay that I get a big fat paycheck from taxpayer money because I didn't lose my job, but you, a small business owner, had to lock everything up because of a virus. And you get squats. You had to close everything and lose your entire livelihood over this virus. So here's Mark Carney. And we had to mute it for copyright purposes. But here, look at this. Just a whole charade there. Whole charade there. And not to, be the complete Debbie Downer of this story, but just to remind people of what's coming and why maybe people are booing the Prime Minister more aggressively now than ever. It's because they found out that the Liberal budget quietly pushes for a new digital ID system. Despite repeated promises that the government would not usher in a digital identification system, the Liberals appear to be moving ahead with one for employment insurance and old age security. So they're trying to force people into this because as jobs are dissipating, as more and more factories and industries are moving elsewhere because of the tariffs, because of the trade war, because of the mismanagement of the Liberal Party, a lot of people are going to have to turn to their employment insurance on EI because they got laid off or whatever the case may be. And they're going to be forced into this. Hey, you want some money to stay ahead, to keep your head afloat while you're looking for a new job? Oh, you got to sign up for an ID. Hey, you want UBI because of our failures? Yeah, you got to sign up for an ID. So, again, this is their sneaky way of doing this. They're not forcing this on you. They're not putting the police onto you and pressuring people into this digital ID. But, hey, you want to get your EI that you paid for? You have to sign up for an ID. Hey, you want the UBI benefits to pay your pay your bills so you can survive in this country? You got to sign up for an ID. You want to go board a train? You want to go fly on a plane? You want to go to a restaurant? You want to go out with friends? You want to do? Oh, you got to sign up for an ID. This is how they're baiting people. And this is, again, not just the Liberals doing this. This is all part of the WF because we're already seeing what's happening in the UK. They're implementing similar interpretations in Australia. They're doing this elsewhere in the European Union. So this is not just a Canadian thing. This is not just a Mark Carney thing. This is operations done by the globalist regimes of the WEF, the central bankers that truly control the world. And they're trying to implement this all around, even in the United States, even in Trump's America. Why do you think Scott Bassett is part of Trump's administration? The guy who used to work for George Soros, that people were disgusted by. I thought you guys were against George Soros. What happened to that? Oh, it's okay because Scott Bassett works for Trump now? That's going to make a difference? No, he's doing the exact opposite of what's making America great again. He's serving George Soros, which means Trump serves George Soros. He serves the globalists. I hate to burst that bubble for you, but Trump is not MAGA. He's part of the club. He's part of the cult. He's part of the establishment. He is part of the deep state. None of them are helping you. There's no savior when it comes to politics. The savior comes from us. It comes from people realizing this, coming together, and fighting the good fight against it. Saying no to digital IDs, not being compliant to the pressures done by the established governments by stuff like this. So, there you go. Canada is not taking Mark Carney, lying down. And that's an example of that. And you're talking about Winnipeg. Like, you're talking about the prairie provinces that obviously the Liberal Party has penalized. Why do you think Alberta continuously wants to succeed? They want to get out of the country because of just how much tension there is between that one particular province and the nation's capital because of Parliament. Like, it's just absolutely crazy and cringeworthy. And now because of stuff like this, obviously people are going to boo. Obviously people are not going to take Mark Carney well and being on a CFL broadcast, the Grey Cup. And it's really incredible. It's really incredible, but it's symbolic to show the detachment from parliamentary politics to the rest of Canada, which the rest of Canada is trying to do everything they can to survive. Make sure that they're still employed, make sure they have food on the table, feed their families, heat their homes, be able to afford a home, be able to afford shelter, and not be displaced in a tent city surrounded by fentanyl addicts and possibly in the verge of getting a MAID pamphlet shortly. They're trying to do everything to defy against the tyranny of the liberal establishment. And that's why they're booing at a national televised event like the Grey Cup. During the national anthem, they're booing Mark Carney every time he appears on the Jumbotron. Rightfully so.